In previous episodes, you got familiarized with creation and execution of remote tasks. In this demo, you will learn more about task scheduling and working with the calendar. Let's get started. When you take a look at the application interface, you may notice that the calendar is its central element. It's true, because the calendar allows us to navigate through and organize all remote tasks. The set of existing tasks is represented in the scheduling area, where the tasks are aligned by execution time, so that we can see in what order they will be executed. In order to see the whole picture of all scheduled tasks for a day, we can zoom out, using the control located on the status bar. Or zoom in, to magnify the timescale. By default, the scheduling area displays the timescale for one day. So, on the screen, we can only see the tasks scheduled for this day. What should we do in order to see the scheduled tasks for a wider time frame? It's really easy. We can switch the scheduling area to another mode, using the buttons located on the status bar. The list of available modes includes a workweek view, which represents working dates of the week. A week view, which displays all days of the week, including weekends. A month view, which makes it possible to see all the scheduled tasks for the whole month. And, finally, a timeline view, which displays all the dates sequentially. If required, we can zoom in and zoom out the scheduling area in these modes too. Great! You have learned how to navigate inside the displayed time frame. But there is another control that allows us to change the displayed information view. It's the Date Navigator, which is represented on the right side of the screen. As you see, it's organized as a calendar, so we can switch to another month, for example, and select another time period to display in the scheduling area. The selected time period, or a date in this case, is highlighted in the Date Navigator and is represented at the top of the scheduling area. It helps us to see where we are at any time. If we need to switch to the current date, we can use the corresponding button on the ribbon bar. The current date is highlighted on the calendar to be easily identified. But not only the current date is highlighted. On the Date Navigator, some dates are displayed in a normal text, while others are marked in bold. What is the difference? If we select the date marked in bold, we can find one or multiple tasks scheduled for this date. So the bold text is used to highlight the dates with scheduled tasks. These dates are the points of our interest. We can navigate to these dates very easily. If a date with no scheduled task is selected, we can move to the closest scheduled task using the navigation buttons of the scheduling area. Excellent! In addition to all these features, the calendar can be customized according to your needs. In particular, on the date view, you can see that the time from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. is highlighted as working time. If your working hours are different, you can change the working time through the application's Preferences dialog. There are two pages in Preferences that are responsible for calendar customization. On the first page, we can define the work week and the working time to be displayed on the calendar. On the second page, we can change the color and other calendar representation settings. Great! Let's see now how to manage remote tasks using the calendar. Here, for today, we have tree tasks. The task action is represented by the icon similar to the ones used for actions on the ribbon bar, so we can easily identify it. Also, on the task bar, we can find the task name. If we need details about the task, we can select it and see its settings and execution statistics. You may notice that other two tasks have a green flag icon. It means that they are scheduled for execution in the future and will be launched at the defined time. If we need to apply some modifications to the task, we can make it directly on the calendar. For example, we can change the machine queue by dropping a new computer into it. Also, we can change the startup time for the task just by moving it on the calendar. Now let's review the last task on the screen. It has a special sign which means that this task is recurrent. If we switch to other dates, we can see that it's scheduled for execution on every day at the same time. If we need to change, for example, the execution time for all occurrences, we can open this task for editing from the context menu. And change the recurrence settings. Well, you see that the new time has been applied to all occurrences. But how can we modify it for one particular day? In this case, we just need to move the task on the calendar and change the startup time. As you see, the recurrence icon for this task has changed to reflect that it's an exception from the recurrence pattern. If we switch to other dates, we can see that the startup time remains unchanged. We can also skip execution of a recurrent task on a given date by deleting a particular occurrence. Great. The final thing that we are going to discuss is how to stop recurrence for a task. It's really easy. We should open the task for editing and proceed to the recurrence option. Here, we have two choices. If we know the end date on which the recurrence should be stopped, we can specify it. Otherwise, we can press the button to remove recurrence, and the task will become non-recurrent but scheduled for a particular day and time. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more demos, tricks and tutorials about remote shutdown.